Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to enjoy the process of making money and building wealth. But before I do, I want to let you guys know that I have a free school community. It's a like-minded group of men. We share our wins, we share our losses when it comes to our fitness, our personal finances, our relationships, right? How we're doing in all those areas, right? And it's good for accountability, right? Like a lot of you guys are looking for other guys who are, on the same path, right? And it's digital, so it's not as good as having like an in-group person meeting, but at the end of the day, it's still good to know that you can share ideas with guys and see where other guys are at in their lives, right? I think it's important that we have that. So if that's something you're interested in, click the free link down below and I'll see you on the inside. So anyways, going back to today's topic, guys, the pursuit of wealth and like making money and pursuing money in general, a lot of people will see it as a grind, will see it as something that's to be avoided, right? Because it's like, it's hard, it's not fun, right? That's how people typically view work, right? And the thing is work can be enjoyable, right? Because at the end of the day, one thing you got to realize is that, or most people don't realize, is that you have a human ego, right? And you have needs as well. And to the degree that you are financially stable or financially abundant, right, will be to the degree that you are, for the most part, if you're doing the right things, happy from a physical standpoint and happy from a mental standpoint, right? Because again, at the end of the day, think of the person who's working, 15-hour days, right? And is, in their late 40s, right? And can barely make it at the end of the month, can barely make ends meet. Do you really think that person has a great mental health or a great physical health, or is somehow at peace at times? No, they're probably, for the most part, in a state of psychological stress, right, throughout the day. They probably have some health problems. They probably feel like giving up. They probably are suffering on a, again, physical, mental, spiritual level, right? So what am I trying to say? Your degree of personal stability comes from the degree of your personal stability comes from the degree that you're financially secure, right? And that's not to say that financial security is the only thing that is important, or is the only thing that gives you good mental health, right? But at the end of the day, I think it's very safe to say that the opposite is definitely true as well, where if you don't have money, right, then your spiritual health, your physical health and mental health and relationships will also suffer. Because it's like, if you're poor, right, if you're constantly spending money, there's a part of your ego, there's a part of your brain, right, that is telling you on a daily basis you're fucking up, right? You're not doing what you're supposed to do, right? And you're not moving towards the optimized potential that you possess as a human being, that you can possess as a human being. So at the end of each day, right, when you're, the average person is spending all their money on shit that they don't need, or they're, slacking and they're not doing, they're not working, right? They're not investing their money. They're not upgrading their skills. They're not working longer hours. They're not, finding ways to make money. Their mind is telling them, yo, you're screwing up. Yo, you're not doing what I put you here to do, right? And the human ego needs money, right? At the end of the day, I mean, if you're, I remember a lot of times, when I was younger, right, in my late teens, I felt like I didn't have a sense of like identity or purpose, right? And a lot of that comes from work, right? A lot of our identity and our purpose and our meaning in life comes from work, right? So if you don't have work, right, if you don't have things you do, you're gonna suffer, right? Because it's not so much about the money, right, as it is about keeping yourself occupied and focused, right, and your mind focused on going towards a goal, right? Because that's what, again, gives the human being, oddly, it's weird, but that's what gives the human being the most joy, right? When it's pursuing something. When it's not pursuing something, or it's not in the moment of pursuing things, moment to moment, that's when you start to really that's when you start to feel isolated, depressed, anxious. You feel like life's meaningless. You feel like what's the point of living? Because it's like, yo, you're not doing anything, right? You're here to do. At the end of the day, you're in a human body. You have a human mind. You have an ego, right? And you're here to do. So you should honestly, I don't say you should fear not doing anything, because there is value in not doing things for some time, right? Like, it's okay to take a vacation and just sit and do nothing. It's okay to meditate. It's okay to fast. It's okay to not be on your phone. It's okay to not be working, right? But at the end of the day, right, for the most part, especially if you're not financially abundant, why are you sitting there doing nothing all day or pursuing hedonism, right? Because typically people either do one of two things. They either pursue hedonism, right, to a large extent, which I don't understand, which is kind of like consumerism, or they pursue wealth and they pursue work and they pursue meaning and purpose and agency, right? So you will enjoy working. You will enjoy. Now, sometimes obviously there's a lot of factors that go into work that we don't like, but I think for the most part, like, work is something that's enjoyable because it keeps your mind focused. It keeps your mind off of things that, you know, oftentimes we don't want to think about, right? We don't want to think about meaninglessness. We don't want to think about death. We don't want to think about emptiness. We don't want to think about just any, like, you know, the human mind doesn't like to sit in stillness and face its thoughts, right? It doesn't like that. I don't know why. I mean, part of it might be boredom, or part of it might just be because the ego constantly needs something to attach itself to. But again, the relative amount of meaning that you have in your life will be to the degree that you enjoy pursuing money and wealth, right? And that's not to say that there's not other things that you can enjoy, right? Or there's other things that aren't worth pursuing, right? You know, definitely your health is worth pursuing on a daily basis. I don't talk a lot about health like I did in the past, but again, I mean, your health and your money, those should be things that your human brain enjoys, because oftentimes it's difficult to diet, it's difficult to lift weights, and it's also difficult to you know, work long hours, develop your skills. But you know, overcoming resistance is what gives us enjoyment, what gives us fulfillment, because it's almost like we feel like we did something that, you know, got us in a way. It's like we killed the buffalo, right? It's like we killed the saber-toothed tiger. Now we can bring back the food to our tribe, right? And now we can survive. So in a way, that's kind of like the analogy, or what it's related to, in the sense of how it was back in prehistoric days, right? So if you're doing nothing, right, basically your brain thinks that you're dying. Your brain literally, you know, especially if you're not around people for a long period of time, your brain thinks that you're dying. Your brain thinks that there's no food, there's no people, we're gonna die, right? Obviously you're not going to die, but that's what your brain thinks when you're not doing anything, right? So anyways, I know I kind of threw a lot of weird ideas and weird comparisons here in this video, but anyways, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.